So my question is, why all this understanding has not brought about a radical change in the way I operate? Why do I go back to my old patterns? Why being in a place of not knowing is so scary for the mind? Is the understanding not complete in itself? Why does the mind fall back to its usual unconscious ways? Alok, I was driving yesterday and having stopped at a place for tea, when I restarted the car, I found that it was not smoothly accelerating. And then I looked at the dashboard, and the dashboard quickly told me what was going on. The handbrake was still pulled up. So obviously, there was trouble. So now I know that the handbrake stands applied. I also know the complete history of what is happening. In a flash, I could remember that when I parked the car, I pulled the handbrake. All that could be known by way of knowledge or information about the handbrake is known. I also happen to be a student of engineering, so I know the way brakes operate. I know which cylinder gets activated when I pull the brake or jam the brakes, and what kind of effect does my action have upon the tires. In fact, I am reasonably well educated. I also know that there is a critical speed and a critical coefficient of friction, after which if I jam the brakes, the vehicle would start skidding. See, I know so much. I'm so knowledgeable. I also know that there is something called an anti-skid braking system or anti-lock braking system, and that prevents the vehicle from skidding away. And to some extent, I also know how the ABS operates. See, I know so much. I know how brakes operate in general. I know where the brake lever is. I remember when I pulled the brake lever. I also know how this particular brake and other brakes in general operate. I know so much. I've read the stuff from 2, 3, 4, 5 books. And I've also just now observed for myself that what the books say is not just bookish stuff. It actually happens. See, my car is not accelerating. So my knowledge is not merely bookish, it is experiential. I'm seeing the effect of braking upon the vehicle and its acceleration. I'm seeing everything. You look at the completeness of my knowledge and experience. I know about the vehicle, I know about the brakes. I also know that right now the brake stands pulled up. I also know who pulled up the brake. I also know how to bring the brake down. I also know how to release this lever and that one. But Alok, help me, my vehicle is still not accelerating. I know so much. I know so much. I have observed keenly and have come to see what the trouble is all about. But my vehicle is still tardy and is making noise. And I am afraid after a while the tires will start smoking. Why is my vehicle still not accelerating? Could somebody help me? After all, don't I know everything? Yes. Mine could be an EP car and I could have JK tires. But the car is still not accelerating. Why? All is known. But the vehicle is still going vroom, vroom, vroom. Don't I know everything? You doubt my knowledge? Test my knowledge if you want to. I have all the knowledge and I can quote chapter and verse from all the engineering books. I have great knowledge. But my dashboard is shouting at me. Taint on, taint on, taint on. Some danger light is flashing in my face. Why? No, but I know everything. Why are you talking about the handbrake? I know everything. Alok knows everything. I also know everything. Why is my car such a dud? Yes. Alok, you are the one who is driving the car with the handbrake pulled up. I can at best tell you what's going on. You know what is the path of devotion? The Guru comes to the driver's window and tells him, that lever by your side, push the button at its mouth and pull the damn thing down, and you obey. That is devotion. You know what is the path of knowledge? Somebody comes to you and teaches you the entire braking mechanics and then tells you, now push the lever down. In either case, you are the one who has to push the thing down. Where is that action? Are you acting? Where is the right action? And the proof of action would be that your car would show some acceleration. Is your car accelerating? It's the car of your life. You are the driver and you are driving it with the handbrake looking skywards. You know, the handbrake is like the ego. When it raises its head, then the car of life cannot move. It should keep looking earthwards and then the car can accelerate. Only sometimes, very rarely, do you need to pull the ego up. And there too the ego should be pulled up by someone who has some wisdom. Then the handbrake can have some utility. Otherwise it should just keep looking towards your feet. Are you letting all the knowledge bring about central changes in your life? I highlight the word central, Alok. Not peripheral or superficial changes. I'm not talking about moving from pineapple juice to guava juice in the mornings. I'm talking about central changes. Changes that change your definition. We all know there is stuff in life that defines us, right? We all know there is stuff in life that we think of as most important. Have those things changed, Alok? Have a few items got ticked off? Have a few descriptions been struck off? Have a few new action points been added to your life? Where is the action? Or is all the action limited to typing and writing and debating? Understanding is not complete without action. Understanding and action go together. The more you act, the more you deepen your understanding. The more your understanding deepens, the more you are prompted towards the right action. The more you act, the more you deepen your understanding. It's a virtuous cycle. Understand, act. Act, understand. Understand, act. Act, understand. Understand, act. How do you climb up a stair? ऐसे? Or is it this way? How do you climb up a stair? Huh? Understand? Act. Understand? Act. Understand? Act. Understand? Act. Now what you're saying is, understand? Understand. 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 How will you run with one leg tied to the behind? How? One requires two legs to even saunter. One definitely requires both legs to gallop. On one leg, you can only hop at your own pace. And that's what most readers do. They keep hopping at their own pace. Hopping at their own pace, they keep hoping for a takeoff. It won't happen. Where is the action? And the action has to be radical. That's the word you have used here. Read, Alok. So my question is, why my understanding has not brought about a radical change in the way I operate and live? Where is the radical action for the radical change? Change means action. Sans action, how will change come? And change means dropping something or adding something, right? Are you prepared to drop stuff that used to be very, very important to you and is still important to you? Look at what holds importance for you. Are you prepared to drop it? Look at what has never been a part, an active part of your life. Are you prepared to now include it in your life? That is radical change. In the absence of action, understanding dries down, shrivels down. You keep accelerating a car in neutral, it will get heated up. Because there is no action. Run a car at 2500 RPM in neutral, and soon the engine will be gone. And run a car for 2000 miles at 2500 RPM in the fifth gear, and there would be no damage at all because there is action. In the absence of action, the energy from the engine just gets used to destroy the engine itself. And that's what happens with so many people who have begun to realize but are just too afraid to act. Either too afraid or too lazy or too smug or too smart.